The Real Tech Guy says, okay, but like as someone who works in a computer repair shop, from a customer's perspective, why should I have to have a NAS? That's such a great question. So when someone comes into the shop and they go, why should I have to have a NAS? The answer is you shouldn't. But then if you want the simple, easy magic bullet, then what you need to do is you just need to pay for your OneDrive or your Google Drive subscription, and you need to practice good data management, and you need to make sure that everything is backed up there. That's the answer. So
Are they trying to sell OneDrive subs?
the what? No. I just mean that. No.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying, are they?
No. That's my answer. That's my answer. If you don't want to worry about, I see what you mean. So that is the answer though. So if you have heavy data requirements, the answer is you need to make sure that everything is on a NAS and all your machines are doing regular nightly backups. And if you don't have heavy data requirements, the answer is cloud storage has gotten so affordable. I mean, the sponsor that we work with all the time, the 45 Drives, builds their storage box, Backblaze.
Backblaze.
Yeah, Backblaze. It's super affordable to back things up to the cloud these days. There's just no excuse anymore. So from a tech shop's perspective, the answer is educating your customers about what their options are to ensure that they're not going to lose their data. It's
and if they
so
don't think
sad.
it's important, because I used to work in a tech shop, and lots of people would be like, I don't need data backup, I don't care about my stuff, blah, blah, blah. I always bring up the wedding and baby pictures argument, because then they're like, oh wait, I can't lose those.
Well,
and I'm like, yeah, where are you storing them? Yeah, it's like, okay, well, maybe you should consider something. Like, what if you don't want to put that stuff in the cloud? There's some things you might not want in the cloud no matter what. You can do local storage with the three things where you have like on the device, on a similar device that might be in the same area, and then on a hopefully different type of device in an area that is very far away. You can do that thing if you can afford it and if you can maintain it, or you can just go with the cloud, whatever. But you should have more than one copy of your data.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what was the eureka moment for me when I learned that my data needed to be rated and backed up? When I learned how a when I learned how a hard drive works. That was the moment for me, because
it seems wild, right?
It's nuts. Okay? Yeah. Like, if you've ever actually seen the read and write head, right? If you've seen it move back and forth over the spinning disk, okay? At 7,200 RPM, I remember someone from Western Digital explaining this to me once. They're like, yeah, at the outer edge of the spinning disk, you know, keeping that head stable is a real engineering challenge, because effectively it's ripping around in hurricane force winds. And I'm like, what? We hold on a second. My precious memories are on this thing. Excuse me, I need to go for a minute. And
yeah, it's crazy. And the fact that they like basically never fail unless you drop them is pretty nuts as well. Like, I don't know. Obviously they do, but like I have hard drives that have been running for a decade, basically.
It's like, unbelievable.
It's nuts. But yeah, back up your data, even if you think you don't care now. To maybe some of the younger audience, I would say.
There's stupid stuff. I had this amazing wallpaper once. It was like a really great ultra wide wallpaper. It had like a horse and cart or something, and it was like labeled with like console stuff, and then there was some faster thing and it was PC or something. It was this really cool cartoon style.
I remember that picture.
Yeah, I had it on my desktop at the old office, the old Langley house. And I don't know, I've tried to find it again and I can't find it. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. I wish I'd put it somewhere, because having everything instantly available at your fingertips has been great in a lot of ways, right? Like, everything's a quick Google search away, except for things that are gone. Because the internet has gotten so big and so broad that it's so easy now for things to disappear forever. There's this great Flash game I used to play called Pearl Harbor, where you're this plane and you go back and forth. Every time you get to the end of the scene, it just kind of turns around and you're fighting something. I don't remember exactly how it played anymore, because one day it disappeared and you can't play it anymore. that experience is
Yeah,
completely gone.
there's that whole saying like the internet remembers, and it's like, yeah,
Sort of.
unless it doesn't. And
Yeah.
in a lot of cases it does, but in a lot of cases, due to the sheer size of the internet,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
It's just too
Sites
much
sites will go
data.
down, and all your stuff's just gone. So back it up. I know a lot of the kids watching aren't going to take this to heart because I sure didn't. But the memories that you have and like the photos and stuff that you have now, back them up. You'll care later.
I
You might
have
not care now. You'll care later.
I have lost a big chunk of photos once. It was
Yeah.
really hard. It was really
Yeah.
rough. Yep. Yeah, people in Floatplane chat are talking about their bad experiences losing data. Neo Cortez says, then your house burns down, is burgled or flooded. So there are solutions to these things. I have a fireproof NAS at my house that I actually use for extremely important things. I can't fit everything on it because it's just a 2 hard drive NAS, so it's just 2 drives in RAID 1. But you should absolutely have some kind of contingency. Also, conveniently, I have a super fast internet connection both at home and at the office, and I have keys to the server room, so I can put things at the office if I really want to. Ha 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 ha. But
Off continent or off like general geographic area is also a very good idea. Like if you're planning on backing up data and it's not in the cloud, it's that 3 stages thing at a minimum is very important.
I
And
think
RAID doesn't count. It should be rated, but RAID does not count.
I am surprised that there isn't kind of like an open source, super easy to use, community based, like, hey, I'll show you my data if you show me yours kind of backup app. I've been pushing the Unraid guys to build this forever. Like Unraid Friends or something like that, where what I want is fairly straightforward, just built right into the OS. I can friend someone effectively, and we can allocate we can cross allocate a shared storage space to each other, and then it will effectively just take whatever I want to put in my offsite important folder, or I'll flag certain folders as key folders. It'll synchronize them to my friend's server and store an encrypted copy locally on their server. And then I can effectively take some of my storage and give them the same thing. Now, you can set up stuff like this. You can do it manually, but I think it's the kind of thing, I've told them for years now, I think it's the kind of thing that could really set their software apart. You can do it. What's that?
I would get evangelical about that. I and I know obviously, yeah, you can do this yourself, and quite a few people do, but some of the you got to consider, like if you are the tech person in this like manual setup, you now have to maintain this for as many people as you enter into that agreement.
Exactly.
And I would love like to have this. I would love to just like basically sell little boxes that I'm obviously not making money on, but sell little boxes to like my whole family. And just be like, okay, we're creating a friends storage pool on Unraid. It works. Update it every once in a while. See you later. Like that would be great. Right?
That'd be amazing.
I don't know. I'd go nuts with that. But I'd try to get basically everyone I knew, because like it really sucks being the tech person for your group of people, and then having someone be like, oh, my laptop got wet or something. I lost all my wedding photos. And it's like, yeah, I told you to do backups for that, and you didn't, because I guess it was complicated or whatever. And it would be great if like there was just some, yeah, I don't know. I would like that. That'd be cool.
I'd be Unraid homies with you.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. And like I would,
like in a minute. Yeah.
I would just throw like a giant Unraid box at the office, and everyone could just have their encrypted data on there. I've got some people saying like, hey, what about if someone got busted with illegal content? Sure, but it's encrypted. So whatever illegal content they have, you gotta imagine, think of it kind of like if someone put child pornography in their Dropbox. Dropbox is not in possession of the child pornography. That is encrypted data that they can't even read. Ultimately, whoever put it there is the one who would be in trouble in that case. So there should be no reason from like a personal criminal liability standpoint that it would matter. I would also think, though, that you'd want you'd want your Unraid homies to be people you know and mostly trust anyway. But friend raid coming soon to LTT store, says Jamer person. Yeah, exactly.
Someone says Synology has that feature. The last time that I tried to mess with it, it wasn't exactly what Linus is saying.
It can be done. It's kludgy, and Synology NASs are, well, they're Synology. It's not cross-platform. So what I want is a way to just do it on something that runs on cheap commodity hardware.
Yeah. Yeah, because you like, I just gave I probably put that person down that path because I said I would just sell my family these little boxes. But that's not particularly what I mean. Like my brother's pretty techie, my dad's pretty techie, etc. They would probably just want to use some old computer hardware that they had laying around and connect some drives to it. Like they wouldn't want to buy a new Synology NAS. Like, yeah, it's different.
Yeah. People are saying try explaining that to a judge. I don't have to explain that to a judge. You guys don't think this has ever come up? Like, come on, guys, you gotta use.
It's come up many times.
You gotta use your common sense here. All right.